Hi everybody, this is Chef Michele Casadei Massari. I'm the brand ambassador for Parmigiano-Reggiano in US. Welcome to my home, to my kitchen, and I'm very glad to be here with all of you today. Today we'll be talking about some Italian tradition during the holidays. We will know each other better and we'll join a friend, a great chef, to share some recipes, cooking together, and going through some Italian tradition during the holiday part of the year. I'm glad also we have the occasion to meet each other and share some time. Here in New York we have a little bit of a crazy weather today. Snowing, but we are home in the perfect environment for some cooking and for meeting what is exactly a traditional meal, a filling meal, very filling and nutritious, but also made out of a lot of memories and a lot of that part that we feel connected where we are coming from. Let me see who's here for now. I can see already have some friends here, and let's see if our friend is ready to join us. So for all of you, if you have any questions or any information you would like to share, any tip, it's the right time for, and it's the right moment. And of course, this is the part that we all know that is the moment we want to feel home, we want to feel connected with our most loved and our family. Traveling is now super easy these days, but we'll make it. Hello, Lorenzo.
Hey, ciao Michele, how are you?
Ciao, very good. Good to see you. How is
Great to see.
everything?
All good, all good. I'm glad to be here cooking with you. It doesn't happen very often, right?
Right.
Nowadays, especially.
It is. Let me introduce to all of you Lorenzo Boni, a friend and the executive chef of Barilla America. Lorenzo
Hi.
will be cooking with us and sharing some stories, right, Lorenzo?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are here to talk about our beautiful tradition in Bologna, Italy, where we both come from, right?
Exactly. We have so much in common. The passion for cooking and our hometown, Bologna, where we grow up and where we had the chance of meeting so many tradition and great ingredients. And now the career brings me to be the brand ambassador for Parmigiano-Reggiano for the US, and I'm so proud to be representing this great Italian masterpiece.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so great that we both come from Bologna and we find ourselves in the US representing two amazing brands, you Parmigiano Reggiano and me Barilla. Isn't it incredible?
It is incredible, wow. But I think it's what we love the most, right? Sharing where we are coming and meeting our road again together in such a beautiful journey like is the cookie that is our passion.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just great to be here. So, what are you cooking today?
So today I'm cooking a plate that my grandmother was really a master of it. It's called Penne dei Poeti. Of course, I will be using the Collezione Barilla penne. And the Penne dei Poeti, it will have really tanto, which means a lot. A lot of Parmigiano Reggiano, like my mother used to do it, and we were so excited as a kid to getting close to the table and be ready for such a joyful plate. That's how I want to call it. And that was really a tradition at my table and my family during the holiday time.
Yeah, that's awesome. I remember that dish. I remember going to Osteria dei Poeti and having that wonderful dish. Parmigiano, put it all together for sure because it's like, that boost of flavor. Lovely, great dish.
It
So
is. What
me,
will you be doing?
so I am actually already cooking because I don't think that people wanted to watch me boiling water. So I already have tortellini in the water. I'm using Collezione Tortellini Barilla, the 3 cheese one. It's you know, the higher brand of Barilla, really high-end quality pasta. I love it. I'm seasoning it. I'm tossing it with porcini mushrooms, and then I will bake it in the oven in crosta, as we say in Bologna. So with a crust of puff pastry, which at the end I will flavor with some, you know, like usually it'll be a surprise how I will flavor that. But can I go ahead and explain you how I'm doing this recipe?
Yes, please.
All right. So my tortellini are pretty much like almost finished to cook. Like I think they've been cooking for 7-8 minutes. We have 2 minutes to go. At the same time, I've been sautéing porcini mushroom with a little bit of extra virgin olive oil and garlic.
Beautiful.
And see, you know, Michele, that, you know, porcini mushrooms benefits a lot by roasting in the pan and searing just like meat, right, to get out all the umami flavor that we want. And so that's what I am doing, and I'm gonna add a little bit of cooking water to this porcini mushroom mixture. And on the same time, let me show you what I did. I made a Parmigiano sauce by just basically boiling heavy cream. I have 1 cup of heavy cream for a cup of grated Parmigiano cheese.
So 1-to-1 the ratio.
Yeah, 1-to-1 in cups, in volume. And basically, I basically brought the cream to boil, and as soon as it got to boil, I turned it off the heat, and then added the cheese so it doesn't curdle. And I mixed it and whisked it really, you know, intensively for like a minute so it gets nice and smooth. And it has this wonderful creamy texture, but also obviously the wonderful flavor of our Parmigiano cheese, you know. And honestly, I can tell you, I mean, I can't describe in words how much I love Parmigiano cheese coming from Bologna, because really the Parmigiano cheese is really the only cheese that you would use on pasta in Bologna. You know, you know that, you know, our tradition, tortellini, lasagne, tagliatelle, they all go with Parmigiano cheese. You can't substitute that with anything else. The umami flavor that is got is just brings every preparation to a different level. But so basically, see, I'm tossing the tortellini with the porcini mushrooms, and I'm gonna add a little bit of grated cheese, not much, because I will show you in a second over here. I'm gonna add some of the the Parmigiano sauce into the cocotte. So now what I'm doing here, I'm gonna add these porcini mushrooms inside these ovens ready cocottes, and I greased them already so that it doesn't stick to the bottom while baking. I have my oven at 425 degrees, and I'm gonna place them in the oven. See, now I'm gonna do a little bit of this wonderful Parmigiano sauce over the top, and then I'm good to go and cover it with puff pastry. And look, I already done it on the side beforehand. As you can see, I flatten a sheet of puff pastry, and but just about the size of the cocottes, a little bit bigger, slightly bigger. And now what I need to do is just brushing it with a little bit of egg wash, like this, like all around, okay? But especially on the sides, because you want this puff pastry to stick on the cocotte, right? And
Wonderful.
and then you cover it just like this, and you kind of press the edges so that it sticks. I mean, you know, because tortellini in crosta is like the way of oftentimes of serving tortellini for really, really special occasions. So in Bologna, we eat tortellini almost every weekend.
Me almost every 2 days, but that's me, Lorenzo.
Right. Yeah, you're right, Michele. Almost every other day. Usually they're served in a capon broth or in like with the heavy cream and Parmigiano cheese, right? Those kind of things. And like then for special occasions, sometimes you will do tortellini in crosta just like this with either porcini mushrooms, or if they are in season and they're affordable, truffle, so that when you break the crust when it comes out of the oven, the aroma is just amazing. It just fills the room, and it's just fantastic. So, but see, now I covered my cocottes with puff pastry just like this. Like I said, I preheated the oven to 425 degrees, pretty warm, very hot. And now I'm gonna go in the oven, gotta press the sides to make sure that they stick. Okay, and now we're gonna go in the oven like that.
I can tell that I can already envision what you're saying, that this time it's like generating a sort of cocoon for your tortellini in order to be in a special place in our memories, but also there having all the aroma disclosing the perfume, but also that kind of smell we feel at home, isn't it, Lorenzo? I can see us one to each other preparing for the dinner and lunch of our beloved ones.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree. So now I went in the oven, 425 degrees, and I'm gonna wait until they're baked. So I think it's your time to show your recipes to us.
Thank you for the magic, maestro. That was beautiful to watch. Beautiful.
Grazie mito, because that's another thing. We call you call me maestro, and I call you mito all the time, right?
Of course, yes, of course.
That's the fun of having a great, friendly relationship.
It is, it is. So, as I was mentioning, I cannot wait to see when they come out of the oven, and I like that we are taking to a common element, a point of our recipe, la crema al Parmigiano-Reggiano, with a proportion of 1:1. So, Lorenzo, I'm going to start my recipe exactly where you started, doing this incredible mingling of two very simple ingredients together, because this is what it's about. Having the best for our family, for us, but sharing that the real magic in cooking is picking few incredible high-quality ingredients. So my ingredients, Lorenzo, are very simple, but they have umami, as you mentioned. We have Parmigiano-Reggiano. I choose to stay to the 30 months. So I want to have that tanginess and nutmeg, all the umami you mentioned. Right. And then I will use a little bit of rucola, proprio la rucola, just the rucola, the one with that bitterness, with that part of sweet at the same time. And then speck or pancetta.
Beautiful.
So starting now, we're doing la crema di Parmigiano, and I want to repeat it. It's a great ratio, 1:1. 1 cup of heavy cream, or half and half, and 1 cup of grated Parmigiano-Reggiano. I know there's a trick that me and Lorenzo, we do about this crema. Right, Lorenzo?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
We add the cheese when?
Yeah, off the fire always. You don't want to cook the cheese.
Exactly. Right? So let me start eating up the heavy cream. I don't know, guys, if you can see me very well. So I'm adding to 1 cup exactly. and I'm gonna give a little bit of a temperature. If you have a gas stove, today I decided induction, you can go on a middle flame on your burner. For me, will be, if it's 1 to 10, the range, Lorenzo, I'm gonna go to 4 as now. Then we'll play because I wanna see what's cooking in your oven. I know we have both timing because I need to keep penne collezione al dente for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, always al dente. Barilla, the translation to barilla to English is al dente. That's how.
With the collezione is very easy, honestly. Look already at the color in it. It's beautiful.
Yeah, well, I really love the line of collezione we have because it's extruded with bronze, so it has that rougher surface, almost like an handmade sort of pasta, and it holds on the sauce so well that it's just amazing. While I'm talking, by the way, I am making little tortellini appetizers just to give you another idea, wrapped up with the puff pastry that I had left over.
Nice.
I'm just doing some sort of little ravioli with tortellini, porcini mushroom, and of course Parmigiano sauce. You know, speaking of Parmigiano again, I was born in Quartiere Reno, and you know what I'm talking about, right?
Absolutely, yes.
And
Sorry,
yeah, I would go, I mean, literally every other day on the Fiume River Reno, fishing or just playing with my friends, and basically it's like walking distance from my home in Italy, and right across the river, it starts where the production of Parmigiano cheese is allowed, because even in Bologna,
esatto.
in the province of Bologna, Parmigiano-Reggiano cheese can be produced only on the west side of the river, basically. I'm going to put this in the ovens as well. And
perfect. Such a good point, because you are right, because Parmigiano-Reggiano, it's made out of very simple ingredients, just 3, which is milk, salt, and rennet. But it can happen only there, only in that part of Italy. Parmigiano-Reggiano, already 2 words. So this is such a good story. You are right. You were basically walking on the border by yourself.
And basically, literally, you drive only 5-10 minutes from where I live, and you start seeing, companies that actually produce Parmigiano-Reggiano. And as you go up on the mountains, on the Modena side, there are like different producers of Parmigiano that are like of outstanding quality. So I remember on the weekend going for like a long weekend with my family to our summer house up on the hills above Modena in a little town called Montese.
Montese.
You know Montese, right? And I spent all my summers there. And on the way to Montese, there are a few Parmigiano producers that are just amazing, really. And it was like kind of a tradition to stop on the way there and buy a chunk of Parmigiano to take home to Bologna. For us, our family, my dad was a huge foodie. There was nothing but Parmigiano-Reggiano for cooking in the kitchen, and Barilla. Barilla, of course, it's like the pasta of the region. So it's great to be here together to do this together at this point.
It feels like we are bringing in not only our memories, but our family. It looks like we are giving back to our grandparents what they give it to us. And Barilla, it was not only part of my youth, but it was a strong statement that my grandmother was using going to the mercato and buy the pasta, because we both know that there was a time that buying this pasta was really a moment of saying, look what I brought here. Because when you buy Barilla, you are buying tradition, and you are buying something that started in a store. So very similar to what we were doing, very similar to bringing home to our pantry. I would say from a home pantry to another home pantry. It was really a treat, and thank you for reminding that beautiful memory of you guys going in Montese, like was for me going al mercato and buy Barilla. That was really a statement for the family, really a treat, but a treat you can easily consign and says, please, let's share a plate of pasta, because this pasta all the time delivers. Look, I want to really show with all of them the color. You said something interesting before, the brass and the extruding. I can totally see. I'm going to do what chefs do in the kitchen, touching, and you can already see what we were saying. The quality, how it's been extruded, it's perfetto al dente. And as a snack, Lorenzo, at this point, you know, I took a shortcut because I have a used piece of Parmigiano-Reggiano here, and I start carving with the almond knife in order to do the nuggets.
Yeah, perfect, wonderful.
So I invite everybody to snack this way, with a part of the preparation, those little pieces that otherwise could be a leftover, that you are making a great starter. And I would say, while you are waiting for your cooking, start snacking your Parmigiano-Reggiano, because temperature is a key. So you want to have it off the refrigerator almost 30, 40 minutes before, and then you can start using. And let's see if you can guess what I'm doing, Lorenzo, here. I'm doing some space in this quarter of Parmigiano-Reggiano. Can you guess why?
Hold on a second, because I can see Tim is holding the phone for me.
Yes. So I'm doing some space, a little hole here in the Parmigiano-Reggiano quarter, because I have a final touch that I'm sure is going to bring us both to a whoa, like when your tortellini crosta will come out of the of the oven.
Oh, there you go. Now I see you. I got the phone from Tim.
Perfect.
Nice. Oh, look at that. Wonderful. Looks amazing.
Yeah, I'm doing some space there, Lorenzo. Guess what? You'll see what I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I think you're going to toss your pasta in there.
Yes, because I'm so lucky that I have this incredible piece here, and I want to do it. And since you're here, it's how we want to celebrate this together. If we were home together, we would do this for sure. Snacking, me helping you with the tortellini. I know we're going to start like this, and that's what I want to do it. So
maybe a glass of Lambrusco.
Lambrusco would really be perfect. And we both know where to get the right one, right?
Yeah. All right, let me pass the phone to Tim again, and I'm going to go check my my dishes in the oven.
Perfetto. And me, I'm going to work out on this Parmigiano-Reggiano cream, which is almost there, about there to be ready. I'll be adding the speck or the pancetta, which was cured to perfection, just salt and pepper. I did some cubes, and I'm ready to add it to the Parmigiano cream I'm doing. And then I'm going to finish putting all the ingredients together and melting, okay? That's what I want to do here.
Yeah, my dishes are a little behind, maybe 2-3 more minutes.
I need those 2-3 minutes, Lorenzo. I needed 2 as well. So,
there you go. We're perfect timing then. We're on the same page. But I was just thinking about your recipe, and you know, it makes so much sense in terms of flavor profile, because it's you know, like all the ingredients are like from the same region, especially with pancetta and then arugula and Parmigiano cheese, Barilla pasta. They all, I remember as a kid up in Montese going foraging for arugula and then using it in salads, wild arugula, so tasty, and using it in pasta. So it's a very common herb in the region to use with all kinds of pasta. Now, I understand today you are giving it a twist with speck, right? So a little bit of smoky flavor, which will always you know, go great with those flavor profiles. But it's so, you know, it brings back a lot of memories, your dish.
I totally agree, and I'm glad you noticed. But then we can say the name is Le Penne de Poeti, which means the penne that poets would eat, because they were belonging to the osteria of the Poeti, which was one of those little places that we were walking at night, very late, maybe with a couple of even more glasses of Lambrusco ready, and ending and taking the street, and then was the celebration coming from that osteria, which most of the osteria, they share the habit of having sometimes even a half or a full wheel or Parmigiano-Reggiano where you could snack by yourself like I'm doing it. So I wanted to bring also this value and also, yes, this part that I feel very amusing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You're absolutely right. I remember going for dinner at Osteria dei Poeti. I mean, it's that's like a staple place
totally.
for Bologna, right? I mean, who hasn't been there? And you know, so while we're talking, I would actually went ahead and took these cocottes with the tortellini wrapped in puff pastry. And here are the little appetizers. And now I'm gonna do like the little surprise, finishing on this crust. So I'm going to brush it with honey, a little bit of honey, and typically in our region would be chestnut honey. It's very common, right? But you can use really any kind of honey. I love the combination of a little bit of sweet, not too much, to the savory of tortellini and Parmigiano cheese. So these are, look, a little appetizer that are, filled with tortellini and porcini that you could serve during the holidays. And then, as a final touch, you just grate some wonderful Parmigiano cheese over the top.
Of course.
See?
It's always a great excuse for, right?
It sticks right on the top because of the honey, and it will, when you bite into this dish, when you break the crust, and you get, first of all, you get this inhalation of amazing, mushrooms, porcini mushrooms, and tortellini and Parmigiano aroma. And then you bite into it and you have the sweet and savory flavor and the umami coming from mushrooms and Parmigiano. So I think it's a really good dish for the holidays.
Totally. And I like the part, yesterday I was stealing a little bit of your ingredient from the collezione, and I was playing with the tortellini, and I loved that there was the option of the 3 cheeses or with the spinach. So you kept your dish completely vegetarian, if I get it right.
Yeah, absolutely. This is vegetarian. There is no meat. Our traditional tortellini in Bologna, you know better than I do, that I have a meat filling. But also in the region, there are a variety of type of tortellini and cappelletti, we call maybe toward like Romagna, cappelletti with just cheese. And so these are inspired to those kind of tortellini with the 3 different cheeses. And it's vegetarian and super tasty. The filling has a really good texture. So it's just a great dish. I love it.
Yesterday when I tasted them, I have to say something, that the bite when I had it, I really had to sit down and enjoy with a little bit of a time, because the consistency and the size were just perfect. So I couldn't stop it. I went ahead cooking a little bit more because really I couldn't wait. And I want to thank you and Barilla, because I really felt home. I sat it down. I took that minute in the corner, eating from the plate for one time sitting. And you're right. It was taking me to a journey. And you said Romagna, and probably on the table we have ingredients to do other 5 or 6 dishes in our country, in our region, that will really be easy, like the passatelli, but so many. But what really is important, that in these days that we cannot travel, Lorenzo, we are traveling home now. We are traveling with all of you, through your words, through my words, through our memories, and through, beautiful, and to your art. And this is what is about masterpiece, what is about tradition. It really takes a few minutes to feel home and connect and caring for who you love. and friends like Lorenzo. It's so incredible how
Yeah.
we connect easily and we are far. And I can't wait to see. Show me what you're doing over there.
So see, now I just opened up one. Let me show you a second one.
Grazie.
The minute you break the crust, you'll see this smoke coming out with this wonderful
Sì.
aroma of Parmigiano cheese and tortellini and porcini mushrooms. And basically then you eat the whole thing together. You basically you know, you're using the crust almost like a little piece of bread to go with it, and you're eating the cheese, and you're eating the mushrooms and the Parmigiano cheese. It's just the complements. It's like super well.
It's incredible. And tell me something. You said before when you were doing the porcini about keep them emulsionated, hydrated. They could use some part of liquid. I think it's very important what you said over there. It's a good tip.
Yeah. So tortellini, you know, I mean, if you follow the instructions on the packaging, you won't go wrong. But any pasta, really, you want to keep it hydrated and moist. You'd never want to serve a dry pasta. So that's why before baking this dish, I also add the cheese fondue. Because it keeps everything nice and moist and nice and creamy, and it's a much better, pleasant experience.
Totally. And about when you say adding liquids, which is what I'm doing here while I'm waiting to finish my dish, I'm as well adding some water.
Yeah, of course, a little bit of cooking water. That will help also adding back a little bit of starch to your sauce so that it will marry everything together. It will hug, it will make your pasta hugging your sauce. So that's perfect.
Can we say
right?
what you were saying to me always in the kitchen? Legala quella pasta, Michele, legala.
Yeah, exactly. Legare, binding everything and marrying the sauce to the pasta, and it's a very important step. It's something that as an Italian chef in America working for a pasta company, it's my mission to explain that to general public that really it's so important, that step, that you want to marry the pasta to the sauce, because a lot of people with less experience with pasta, they tend to serve you know, like plain pasta with a scoop of sauce over the top, and unfortunately it's not just the best way to serve your pasta, but tossing in everything together makes it like such a better, more interesting experience.
I can really relate to what you're saying, and I can say that my mission is to make sure everybody can have the Parmigiano-Reggiano and can recognize it, because for me and you, first of all, it's very easy to say Parmigiano-Reggiano, but also here you can always read about Parmigiano-Reggiano, where the consorzio is putting all the stamps. A lot of time I get a question, how can I find Parmigiano-Reggiano? What should I look for? It's over here in this side. You have all the information over here, because the consorzio, and you said before about Montese, there's more than 300 producers making every day this Parmigiano-Reggiano in the way they did it since almost 1,000 years, just with the simplicity, but with care. And when you said it's important to having the steps, to having the right way to explain and deliver it for an Italian chef, yes, I feel so proud to be the brand ambassador of Parmigiano-Reggiano and having the chance like you to share what we care the most and explain it with simple words. And I see that we are approaching what we have here because of the taste. None of us was adding salt, Lorenzo. I didn't see it actually.
Salt, yeah, you don't really need much salt. I did add a little bit of sea salt for better natural flavoring. I only use sea salt in the mushrooms and a little bit in the cooking water. I didn't talk about that, but definitely when you use Parmigiano cheese, it has such a touch. You have such a nice umami, strong base to begin with that you really don't need much salt or anything else to make your dish perfect. And you
Very
know,
important.
I gotta say Parmigiano-Reggiano is just the standard. The quality of the cheese is so much higher than any other type of cheese like that. That to me is not even a question. Is I wouldn't go with any other sort of Parmigiano like, but not Parmigiano cheese. It's just you taste the cheese side by side. And one other thing you brought up earlier, the 36 months and the 24 months, is so interesting to see how that affects the quality and the use of the cheese. I personally today I use the 24 months. But 36 months is just like a burst of flavor, and it's just unbelievable. And I love Parmigiano cheese.
Thank you for saying that part of the aging, which is very important, because at least has to be 12 months to be Parmigiano-Reggiano. And when you go ahead getting something more aged, the granity, the aromas, all they open in a different way. So it's interesting using the 24 because you had porcini over there and you have the tortellini. Here I decided to go with a 36 because I wanted that nutmeg part, that flavor of complexity of a lot of aroma that we define as broth, as a broth. But now, Lorenzo, let me plate. I want to see what you think about. I'm warming up the plate. Shall I plate?
Yeah, let me grab the phone, and I want to see your final dish.
Grazie, Lorenzo. And I need to see what you really think of, and I wish I could share with you, and I wish I could try the tortellini.
While you are plating, I'm going to put a nice display of my Parmigiano and Collezione tortellini because I want to watch. Wow, looks beautiful.
So I'm plating it in the finishing. Of course, a little bit of rucola I put inside to get the flavor, but then I'm going to use some of the fresh one because for us, for everybody, it's very important, the plating part and how they look like and the structure. Because we want to be vertical, we want all the ingredients to be visible, detectable, and in a second we want to find a structure that makes sense with the dish. I'm warming up the plate just to keep all the ingredients. The pasta is resisting, I want to use this word, very well. The cooking, very great product. I like it's al dente, and we've been talking while I was doing this, but nothing really changed. It didn't overcooked. It's really great.
Nice. Yeah, and I love the touch of a fresh arugula over the top. Really nice.
Grazie. And now I'm microplaning, Lorenzo, because I want to use all the volume I can to get all the aromas and the perfume. And I'm always cautious about covering the surface the best and the most homogeneous way I can to make sure that every bite tastes the same.
Yeah,
here we go.
Nice. Beautiful.
And I have a little bit left over here. You talk about before doing a little appetizer. Now I'm going to do something for the kitchen, for the guys cooking, me and you. Since I have the Parmigiano quarter here. All right.
There you go. You're finishing. Yeah.
There you go. Exactly.
You can't go wrong with that. This is my part.
No. And finishing, I let sit down there and enjoy the warmth of being exactly in the heart of where we connect the most. Tradition, heritage, and family. It was a great holiday. It was a great moment together, Lorenzo, really.
Yeah, I loved it, Michele. Wonderful dish. Well, I can eat the whole thing, not only the pasta, but also the whole wheel back there.
I do that sometime, and then I remember that less is more. So
yeah, absolutely.
A bite every day. Same is for the pasta. Pasta is something I eat every day because I really enjoy it.
Yeah. Wonderful job, Michele, as always.
Same is for you, Lorenzo. Really exciting. I was really watching closely. And the thing I love the most about this, you know what it is, Lorenzo?
Yeah, tell me.
That the day I met you, it seems today and every day I connect to you, I feel home. And these days I feel far from home, and you brought me home. Grazie.
Yeah, thank you. Same for me. Likewise, same exact feeling. So I really appreciate it. Michele, happy holidays and happy holidays to everyone following. And it's been a great pleasure. Let's hope we can connect again pretty soon, okay?
Absolutely. Happy holiday to all of you, to everybody who's been here, to all this amazing brand, and let's stay close. Thank you so much,
Ciao,
Lorenzo.
ciao.
Thank you to all of
Bye,
you.
guys.
Ciao, amico mio. Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao. Thank you so much. Thank you for all of you. And we'll see you soon.